Everybody knows about grandmasters and international masters. But how do these players get these titles? There are almost 8 FIDE chess titles that are given to the players. But how? So to find out, watch the video till the end and let's get started. Hi, my name is Karan Parikh and I have been playing chess since 7 years. And I will be a guide for this video. As I told you, there are 8 FIDE chess titles. These are Grandmaster, International Master, FIDE Master and Candidate Master, and subsequently Woman Grandmaster, Woman International Master, Woman FIDE Master and Woman Candidate Master. There is a misconception about the National Master title. There isn't a National Master title given by FIDE. But there are many federations that do provide or award this title. So these titles can be awarded by different ways as the federations select. But it is not an official title given by FIDE. Okay, so let's dive into the process of how to get these titles. And one thing to note is that once you get a title, let's say a Grandmaster title, then no one can remove it. Let's say your points decrease by 200 or 300 elo, then also the title will be retained with you. Okay, so there are 2 ways in which you can get these titles. The first way, that is the most common and traditional way, is by getting NORMS. And the second way, for which you have clicked this video, is getting directly the title. So to start off, let's firstly go to the traditional way and see how do you get a title there. So firstly, the traditional way, that is the NORMS. What is this NORMS? So to tell you in simple words, to get a title, let's say the Grandmaster title, you will need 3 NORMS. That is the 3 Grandmaster NORMS. And how you'll get these 3 Grandmaster NORMS is by playing norm tournaments. There are special tournaments that are just for these norm tournaments. So in that tournament, you play against many players. Their average rating will be taken into consideration. Their titles will be taken into consideration, and also your result will be taken into consideration. Your performance rating is going to be the key in this process. Now, I took 2 terms, that is average rating and performance rating. Firstly, you will need to know what are these 2 terms. The first term, that is average rating, as the name suggests, is the average of all the rating of the players that you have played in the tournament. Obviously, the players in which your game had been paired, but the player didn't arrive or some other issue happened, those games would not be considered. But all other players, the rating of the average of all their rating would be the average rating of your opponents. Now, the second point, that was your performance rating. This rating is not your actual rating, but the performance with which, the rating with which you are performing in that particular tournament. That was it for average rating and the performance rating. You do not need to know more about these things because it is very complex and not so much needed right now. Now, going on, why are these 2 things very important? This is because on your screen right now, you can see 4 statements. These statements or these conditions are necessary to get the norm. The first statement, you can say the GM. For the GM title, you need to have a performance rating of 2600 plus in that norm tournament. And your average opponent rating should be more than 2380. Similarly, for International Master, your performance rating should be more than 2450 and average rating greater than equals to 2230. Against for WGM, you need a performance rating of 2400 and an average opponent rating of 2180. And for Women International Master, you will need a performance of 2250 plus and average opponent rating 2030. So these are one of the major you can say conditions for which you will be awarded a norm in a tournament. Now, after successfully completing all these conditions, and there are also small conditions like you have to play some GMs or you have to only play not more than 2 rounds per day. So these small conditions I will show in the latter part of the video. But after fulfilling everything, and the tournament ends, then they will release a list of players who will be granted the norms. And if you are in that list, then bravo, you are getting your first norm. Also note, you can get multiple norms also in one tournament. Now, how do you know that you have gotten a norm? So you will be awarded a certificate in front of everyone that it will entirely state your performance in that rating, all your players, opponent's name and everything, all details, and you will have your first certificate of your norm. After getting 3 successful same norms, let's say 3 IM norms or 3 GM norms, then you will be successfully a title holder. The next rating list, when it will be uploaded, that is the start of the next month, then you will be able to see the norm batch in front of your name in the Google or in the FIDE website if you search. Now that was the first method. But what about the second method, that is without any of these norms process, you directly get a norm? How does that work? Let's see. Okay, so according to the FIDE article, you can see on your screen, it says direct title or automatic title is a title gained by achieving a certain place or result in a tournament on application by the Players Federation and confirmation by the Qualifications Commission. Such titles are awarded automatically by FIDE. It also mentions that titles may be awarded for specific results in specific championship events or are awarded on achieving a rating as laid down in these regulations. Such titles are confirmed by the QC, chairman on advice from the FIDE office. They are then awarded by FIDE. To brief up this point, it says that if your result in a very big tournament like a championship event, for example the World Cup, it is very humongous and you played extremely well with a massive result, and also your rating is above the threshold that I am going to show you in some minutes, then you will be directly awarded by the FIDE after approval of the chairman of the QC. Then you can directly be awarded a title. So these conditions that I was talking about, let's see that first. Of course, here also the rating conditions are applied. You will need 2300 plus for GM. In normal title holders, you needed 2500. But in this direct title, you will just need 2300 plus. And for women grandmaster, you will need 2100 plus. International master 2200, WIM 2000, FM 2100, WFM 1900, CM 2000 and WCM 1800. Also to note, these values are according to the 2022 regulations where the rating change of the 1400 was not taken into consideration. So the new, you can say, regulations I am not aware about, so you can take a peek or you can research about this carefully if you want to. Now one more point that comes up is that if the applicant is not above this threshold but he has achieved the results in the World Cup or such grand event, then what? Then for that also FIDE has given an answer. It says that if an applicant is rated lower, the title is awarded conditionally and will be awarded finally on request by the respective federation as soon as the minimum rating is achieved. Any player with a conditional title may take a lower title when they reach the required rating for that lower title. Okay, so this was the second way in which directly you can get the title, and I think this must be something new for you and I was able to educate you in this part. Now coming back to the small conditions that I was talking in the video, let's see that first. The first condition says that there must be no more than 12 hours of play in one day. This is calculated based on games that last 60 moves, although games played using increments may last longer. Now the second point says no more than 2 rounds shall be played in one day. The third point says that each player must have at least 2 hours in which to complete all the moves, assuming the game lasts 60 moves. Moreover, there is another point which says in the application for GM or WGM title based on norms, at least one norm shall be achieved in a tournament with only 1 round per day for a minimum of 3 days. That is, the tournament should be more than 3 days and 1 round per day. Then there are also some more points in which they tell about the time control, that you must have the same time control of the entire tournament, but of course that is not for you, that is based for the tournament managers. So that were the four conditions, small conditions, for which you could forget about that and you can miss your norm. Okay, so the last part of the video right now, the titles of your opponents, that your opponent's title also matter for your own norm. So this part, it says titles of your opponents. At least 50% of the opponents shall be title holders in the entire tournament you are playing. Also to note that these title holders does not include candidate master and women candidate master. For a GM norm, at least 1/3 with a minimum of 3 of the opponents must be GMs. For international master norms, at least 1/3 with a minimum of 3 opponents must be IMs or GMs. For WGMs, it's the same thing, but for IMs, GMs and also WGMs. For WIM, you can consider this entire thing for WIMs, WGMs, IMs or GMs. Double round robin tournaments need a minimum of 6 players, and opponents' titles, as in 1.45, we shall be counted only once. That is, in double round robin system, 6 players must be there, and the titles, as per we discussed right now, the entire paragraph, that should be in touch. So this was the entire brief on how to get a chess title. There were two main ways and I explained that two ways very brief. Of course, it is a very complex system and I do not want to go into the complexity right now. So yes, that was it for the video. I hope that it was informative for you. Do like the video, subscribe to the channel Chess Craze and pour your comments down in the comment section. Till then, stay safe, play chess and keep learning. Bye bye.